Please stand.
Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, this evening, this commencement culminates 12 years of learning, working, and growing for over 600 graduates of Fairmont High School. As we receive our diplomas, let us remember that commencement is a beginning, not an end. Although we will move on and move away from what we have now, we will approach new faces and new opportunities. Please give us the strength and confidence to enter our new lives, whatever they may be, and to find the happiness we all deserve. We hope we may take the knowledge, experience, and wisdom that we have accumulated and couple them with empathy, utility, and compassion to better ourselves and to better the world around us. This is a joyous yet a frightening time for us. Poet Rick Norman expresses these comforting words. As you move towards tomorrow, may your heart be filled with a knowing and an understanding of yourself and all that is happening around you. As you feel one door closing, may you feel others opening just for you. And may you feel God's hand on your shoulder in guidance and encouragement. Lord, you have always been with us. We pray you will remain by our sides. Amen.
Friends are hard to find. Life seems so unkind.
That's when I know that I can finally say I made it through the rain. I kept my world protected. I made it through the rain. I kept my point of view. I made it through the rain. I find myself respected by the others who got rained on too and made it through. We made it through. I made it through.
Did you ever think that when they created graduation, they actually meant it as a cruel joke and people accidentally took it seriously? I mean, take a look around. It's hard for us not to laugh at ourselves. Here we are on one of the most important days of our lives thus far, and they dressed us in robes with cardboard boxes on our heads and string hanging in front of our eyes so we can't even see. I mean, it's really quite absurd. We are made to look and feel as silly as humanly possible, and then told to be solemn and serious, because we are saying goodbye to life as we know it. Aren't we? But that's just it. Graduation shouldn't be saying goodbye to life as we know it. It should be saying hello to new experiences. But it really shouldn't be just that either. I know. Graduation should be holding on to the past while walking into the present, yet still dreaming about the future. Upon graduation, we shouldn't slam the door on the person that we are today and open the door on a new one. Instead, it should be a blend of the two, more like a revolving door. We should strive to keep within us a little piece of who we are today, and take that on to our respective futures, yet still grow and evolve into the person that we want to become. Try something with me. Imagine yourself in front of yourself. Now imagine this person slowly shrinking and getting smaller and smaller until that person would fit in the palm of your hand. Now take that person and very carefully place them around your heart. Now, a little piece of who we are today will always remain with us. For we should be learning not to just say goodbye, close the door, and forget. We should strive to remember how we were in high school. Who were we? How did we act? What did we like? In a few years, these questions will be very important to us, and we'll want to remember them, because there will never be another class like ours. There will never be another time like the times that we have spent and shared with one another. And there will never be another moment like that which has come to pass.
a time I can remember. The days went fast, but the years would last forever. And now I've got so much more on my mind. Life doesn't last that long. Goodbye to faces I won't remember. Goodbye to those I keep in the corners of my mind. Too many times we didn't say the things we meant, and too many times we didn't mean the things we said. But something when I grow tired of all the lies ahead, I look in the mirror and remember you all in my dreams. Yes, I know, carry on. The sun still sets no matter which side you're on. Yes, I know, carry on. 'Cause the flowers still bloom next springtime. When you're gone.
That will look real good on the video. If we just take a moment to relax a minute, we'll get back on schedule. We're just going to remove the screen. If you just compose yourself, our next speaker will be Kim Edwards.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans. In this quotation from his inaugural speech, John F. Kennedy was addressing the issue of the strength and importance in the youth of America. This evening, the torch will be passed to us, a new generation. You know, ever since those semester exams, we've counted down the 5 months till graduation as if we couldn't wait for it all to end. But that's not exactly true, is it? There is a part in each and every one of us which wants to hold on to these days forever. Now, we've said that we're anxious to leave behind the drudgery of high school work. We've gotten up early almost every weekday morning for 3 years now to fight our ways through subjects we didn't always like. And who could forget the mad rush in homeroom to either finish up some last-minute homework that would have taken hours anyway, or to cram for a test the next period that had already been predestined to be a bad grade. Seemed like our only hope for a little peace was a good euchre game every now and then, but the teachers usually had something to say about that. But I don't think any of us will fully appreciate this so-called drudgery until we face what lies ahead. Indeed, the monotony of high school will be a welcome visitor in our minds in a couple of months. Some of us are headed off into college or the armed forces.
where for the fourth time we'll be starting all over. Others are headed directly into the workforce to face what all of us has been working for all this time. And of course, a small fraction out there hasn't the faintest idea what to do, but it'll come soon enough. Most of us have 75% of our lives still to live, and 50% of that will be spent working. Then we'll wonder why we counted these months so anxiously. Then we'll wonder why we wanted all this to end. We've also subconsciously anticipated branching away from the people that we've been with for 3 years or more. Now, I know some of you have been involved in very long-lasting and fulfilling relationships, but how many movies and dinners can you take before you've had enough? Others of us, on the other hand, have yet to come across something even somewhat resembling a long-term relationship, and we're just busting out the seams to meet some new people. And I think most of us realize our futures probably lie with people we haven't even met yet. But as anxious as we are and should be to move on, these people should never, ever be forgotten. No matter what you're doing 20 years from now, certain songs or movies or moments will bring back the faces that are all around you tonight. There was a line from the popular movie Stand By Me that always sticks in my mind, a line that I've applied to myself. I'll never have friends again like the ones I had my senior year. Does anybody? See, I met a lot of new people this year, and one or two will always hold a special place in my heart. And it was easy for us to meet new people this year because the cliques and the stereotypes, they seemed to fade away. And I knew that whether we were at a basketball game or a party or even a foreign country, as the case may be, that I was always going to make them laugh. They were always going to make me think. And we were always going to make each other feel good about ourselves. We all had friends like this year, friends we swear we'll never leave behind, but friends whose names and faces will inevitably fade once we go our separate ways. No, I'll never have friends again like the ones I had this year, and every time I remember that, I'll wonder, why did I count these months so anxiously? Why did I want all this to end? Well, I didn't, and I don't. Nonetheless, those months came, and we counted them, and now they're gone. It's time to move on. So we'll probably all walk out of here to face a fusillade of pictures and tears, but it's on the line of duty, because we'll walk out of here with something we didn't have when we came in, our diplomas. And what they represent is worth far more than just a piece of paper. Those diplomas are the torch that's been passed to this generation. Use it wisely in your future, but don't ever forget your past.
As many people predicted I would, I learned more during my senior year of high school than during any other time in my life. However, the learning I experienced was not purely academic, but more of a time to see things in a light in which I had never seen them before. And for one reason, my brother became a sophomore. At my high school, how dare he? And all of a sudden, I found myself playing roles for which I had been preparing for my whole life. A parent, a teacher, a counselor, a guardian angel, a sister, and most importantly, a friend. I felt as if I were the only person that had a sibling going to the same school as I. And as I'm sure many of the parents and sisters and brothers here today can relate to, I wanted to hold on. I wanted to grab on tight and say, look, you're not old enough to be doing this yet. Was I? Of course not. So I stepped aside and let go. But there were a few things that I wanted to say to my brother that, now that I think back on them, are things that apply to everyone. Things like, be creative, take chances, be afraid, because even if they're not showing it, everyone else is. And most importantly, do things that are going to make you happy. But as the time gets closer and closer for me to leave, I feel there's one last thing that I want to say to my brother that I think best can be described in the lyrics of a song from Andrew Lloyd Webber, Phantom of the Opera. To the person I always forget, think of me. Think of me fondly when we said goodbye. Remember me once in a while. Please promise me you'll try. And when you find that once again you long to take your heart back and be free, if you ever find a moment, spare a thought for me. Think of me waking silent and resigned. Remember me trying too hard to put you from my mind. Recall those times. Think back on all those years. Think of the things we'll never do. There won't be a day when I won't think of you.
Good evening. I'd like to have your attention, please, for a couple of general announcements as we begin. First, not that you could tell from the falling curtain behind our screen here, this is a formal ceremony, and we would like it to be conducted with dignity. Every student has earned the privilege to hear his or her name read and to enjoy that moment of honor. Therefore, I request that you do not yell or shout when we read the names. Yelling and shouting represents discourteous behavior and distracts from the dignity of our program. Secondly, cameras and video equipment. I ask that if you have cameras and video equipment, that you not interfere with the people next to you or not interfere with the ceremony in any way. For your convenience, we are taking two types of photographs. First, each graduate will have a still photograph taken as they receive their diploma. A copy of that print will be mailed to your home in about a week. Secondly, the video division of WKET, the students on the floors with the video cameras, will be developing a videotape of the ceremony. This tape will be available to all students for $25. They will be able to pick up the order blank for the tape tomorrow when they return their cap and gown. All proceeds from this venture will go to WKET. Thank you for your cooperation in those areas. Members of the class of '88, parents, relatives, friends, and members of the Board of Education, we are here this evening to honor the class of 1988. As does every class, this class has a special identity. They have been hardworking, cooperative, full of leadership, and caring. I've been most pleased with their caring attitude and their community support. They have demonstrated this throughout the year. As parents, I'm sure you feel the pride of their accomplishment and success. I'm also sure you feel a hint of sorrow as you understand that their childhood has ended. The faculty and administration, as well as the parents, are very proud of the class of '88. We have had much success in our school, and much of the credit belongs to these graduates seated before us. They have consistently led their peers with examples of hard work, commitment, pride, and spirit. I could relate for a considerable period of time about the members of this class, however time does not permit. I do feel, however, that you should meet some of the outstanding members of the class of 1988. Academically, we are graduating 7 students who have a grade point average of 4.0. With the following valedictorians of the class of '88, please stand and be recognized. Kelly Brown, Kristen Dunkel, Jay Kennard, Chris McManus, Jeff McManus, Fong Pham, and Jennifer Quarren. Please stand for applause. The salutatorian of a class is traditionally the person with the second highest average, and this year we have 2 students with the same average, with a grade point average of 3.976. Please welcome Annette Anthony and Richard Sherrick, salutatorians of the class of '88. Please stand. The top 25 students in the class received a grade point average of 3.789 or better. 236 members of the class received a 3.0 average on a 4-point scale, and these students are identified in your program with an asterisk. The students in the graduating class wearing yellow hoods on their gowns are members of the National Honor Society. They have been chosen to wear the hood because of their academic ability, school and community service, leadership, and character. At this time, would the members of the National Honor Society please stand and be recognized? Thank you. 87 students have received awards of distinction for academic achievement from the State Board of Education. These students have completed 4 units of English, 3 units of math, science, social studies, and foreign language. 8 students have received awards of distinction from the state for vocational studies. These students have excelled in 2-year programs of our vocational school. 6 students have distinguished themselves by earning the rating of National Merit Finalist. I'd like to introduce these students to you. Annette Anthony, Rick Hecker, Jana Katsuama, Brett Kramer, Greg Knuckles, and Brian Rossler. An additional number of students, 12 to be exact, have received the rating of National Merit Commended Student. These 12 students are Kelly Brown, Tom Chapman, Tanya Johns, Monica Lenegro, Chris McManus, Jeff McManus, Jay Murdoch, Carl Oakson, Richard Sherrick, James Smith, James Stanley, and Deborah Wagner. Would the finalists and the commended students please stand for recognition? The next group of students have earned special recognition because of their outstanding attendance. In this category, Dan Brockman has had perfect attendance for 2 years. Mark Hammer, perfect attendance, 2 years. Angelina Hessler, perfect attendance, 1 year. Jamie Constantino, 2 years, perfect attendance. Chris McManus, 1 year, perfect attendance. Kathleen Morgan, 4 years, perfect attendance. Steve Schwartzoff, 2 years, perfect attendance. Dion Stankina, 5 years, perfect attendance. Todd Waker, 2 years, perfect attendance. Doug Wurzbacher, 1 year, perfect attendance. And another group of students achieving nearly perfect attendance with just a couple of tardies or 1 day missed, Mike Brown, Bob Kalama, Brett Kramer, Jeff Parkhurst, and Dave Michelle. Would all these students please stand? The officers of this senior class are as follows. Senior Class President Ann Marshall, Secretary Jennifer Quarren, Treasurer Anne Marie Ackerman, Social Activities Coordinator Kathleen Coleman, Publicity Coordinator Randy Yoder. The Student Council, United Student Body officers are as follows. Commissioners, Shelley Luo, Sherry Cole, Tom Rao, Chris McManus, Joe Carson, and Shelley Warner. And the officers of the United Student Body, Lisa McPherson, Treasurer, Alicia Kingray, Secretary, Jana Katsuama, Vice President, and Kristen Dunkel, President. This is an outstanding class of officers. They've shown outstanding leadership, and we will miss them as they move to greater heights. Would these class officers from the United Student Body and class please stand? Under the leadership of these officers, the class has made a gift to the school of $4,500. This gift has been earned over their 3 years at Kettering Fairmont High School and will be donated to the school for landscaping projects and other building beautification projects. During a recent scholarship banquet, or a series of banquets, special awards were given for outstanding achievement. Firebird of the Year award for a young man was to Jeff McManus. For a young lady, Kristen Dunkel. Kiwanis David Rayburn Citizenship Award to Chris McManus. I Dare You Leadership Award for a young lady, Deborah Wagner. For a young man, Rob Polvino. The McDonald's Ray A. Kroc Achievement Award to Brett Kramer. The Maryland Gates Memorial Home Economics Award to Laura Russell. The Finley Pugh Award, presented to the outstanding male athlete, was given to Joe Wynell. The Joanne Ray Award, presented to the outstanding female athlete, given to Kathy Hulsman. The Nancy Benedum Spirit Award to Heather Newman. The Gary Mulkey and the Ari Cole Award, both given to Chris McManus. And the John Philip Sousa Award, given to Greg Knuckles. Would these special award winners please stand? In co-curricular activities, the Firebirds have excelled. The school newspaper, The Flyer, under the direction and leadership of student editor Jim Smith, converted from a tabloid form to a news magazine. The Flyer News Magazine earned the American Press National Award for first place for total presentation and the regional award, the Great Lakes Interscholastic Press Award, for total presentation. The yearbook likewise received national recognition by earning the opportunity to have several of our page layouts featured in the Taylor Publishing Book of Excellence. This book will be circulated nationally. The editors for our yearbook have been Molly Yonkin and Anne Marie Ackerman. At this time, I'd like to recognize one special youngster who has given a great deal of service to our school. He has spent 3 years taking pictures and developing film for everyone, the student council, the yearbook, and the newspaper. He seldom appears in pictures because he's always taking pictures. So at this time, if you have a flash camera, I'd like you to prepare it, and when I introduce him to stand, please take his picture. Jay Murdoch, please stand. In music, the Silver Concert Band earned a #1 rating in the state contest, and recently the Silver Band and the Blue Concert Band participated in the Music in the Park program at Cedar Point. Our bands swept the competition, earning 1 and 2 places, respectively, in the open class division and brought home all the hardware. At Christmas time, our chorus and orchestra performed the Messiah, which was a major accomplishment and a major undertaking for both groups. Through the organization of the Dayton Junior Philharmonic, several of our students were selected to travel to New York to perform at Carnegie Hall. And some of the students are with us this evening. Please recognize Kristen Dunkel, Rick Hecker, Jana Katsuyama, and Paul Wida. Please stand. Our student council, the United Student Body as we are called, earned 1 of 15 special ratings in the state of Ohio. Only 15 schools were selected. Our student council was one of them. We received the plaque of the year for our quality work and quantity of work in that particular organization. In addition to receiving the group award, 3 of our students were selected for all state honors in student council. Those students were Jana Katsuyama, Kristen Dunkel, and Shelley Werner. Our Muse machine, which is one of the most active in the Miami Valley, was awarded the Sarah Exley Award for Excellence, and 2 students were honored in special ways. Katie Hauser wrote a play, and it was produced here locally, and senior Holly Martin was able to star in the Muse Machine production, Guys and Dolls. And recently, Holly has received information that she will be the recipient of a Muse Machine scholarship that will take her to England to study theater for 3 years. Holly, please stand. Several of our students achieved top awards in speech competition. Heading the list for our seniors was Kim Edwards. She will be competing in the National Speech Tournament in Nashville, Tennessee later this summer in the category of foreign extemp. Many of our sports programs have had excellent records as well. I'd like to mention a few of them for you at this time. The girls' softball team ended their season as runner-up to the district champs with a record of 17-6. Led by Tim Doyle, our cross-country team won the WOL championship, and our girls' team finished second in the league. In basketball, led by seniors, our team captured the Western Ohio Crown and provided much excitement for us in the tournament schedule. In baseball, led by Clint Rose, our team reached the regional finals, which means they were one of 8 teams left in the AAA division. And in track, we were proud to have Joe Wynell carry our school banner to the state track meet in the mile run. It was a fine year for our sports programs from fall to spring. In addition to sports and activities, we have 3 students in the audience who are experiencing somewhat of a double pleasure today. They are graduating from high school, and they're experiencing a birthday. So, Nikki Saunier, Steve Riegelsberger, and Clint Rose, happy birthday. Under the direction of student editor Jana Katsuama, our Airy, the Fairmont literary magazine, doubled its size and doubled its distribution, and is one of the finest issues that we've had since we've begun to produce such a magazine. The Holiday at Home float, the entry from Kettering Fairmont High School, received the special award, and special congratulations for this effort goes to two people, two of our students, Jerry Wright and Tom Rao. Our academic competition teams did very well also. Each of these three teams earned special recognition in local and district competition. So congratulations to the senior members of our JETS team, the Junior Engineering Technological Society, our Academic Challenge team, and our Science Olympiad team. Several students earned scholarships totaling thousands of dollars. 4 special scholarships were earned by the following people. Receiving scholarships for 3.5 years, full scholarships by way of the Air Force ROTC. These scholarships applicable to any school in the United States. Angela Butchko, Walter Winslow, and Lori Knoop. In addition to those 3, one other youngster, Rob Polvino, earned a direct appointment to the United States Naval Academy. Would these 4 students please stand? Led by seniors, our students participated in community-wide service projects, and in October, we outdistanced our rival Centerville in the Spirit Chain competition and raised $3,000 for the Candlelighters Society for Special Children. It was at this time in October that we met our special friend and developed a special relationship with Christopher Neff. Christopher Neff is fighting leukemia at this time with every breath that he takes. He's still with us, and we still hear from him regularly, and he has a special place in the hearts of this class. In November, we collected over 4,000 canned goods, and again, $2,500 to take care of 46 families during the holiday season. And again in April, we went back to the student body and asked for their community support, and led by the seniors, our student body donated to the Miami Valley 253 units of blood. In addition to hard work and service projects, we had a lot of fun also. We danced a lot. 400 couples attended homecoming. 300 couples attended the father and daughter dance. About 100 couples rocked at the mother and son dance. 470 couples attended our prom, and about 50 couples attended a new dance called MORP, which is prom backwards. And 675 of our students participated in the after-prom party, and that was a tremendous success brought to us through a lot of effort on the part of PTA and parent volunteers. This class deserves our respect. They have sustained our community spirit, and they have sustained our community pride. They have led as others have led before them. And in a recent survey, the class of '88 expressed these plans. 65% of them plan to enter in the fall a 4-year college. 19% of them plan to enter a 2-year school of education after high school. 8% of them will be entering directly into the military. 16% will be going into the workforce at this time, and 12% have undecided plans as of the moment. Local universities and colleges seem to be the most popular for this particular class. The schools most seldom selected were Wright State University, Ohio State, Sinclair, Bowling Green, and Purdue. Other popular choices included the University of Cincinnati, University of Dayton, Miami University, and Ohio University. I've highlighted many of the accomplishments of this class. Now I'd like to thank the parents, the teachers, and the counselors, and our school support staff. And I'd like to thank the administration team, Mr. Drayton and Mr. Kilmer, Mr. Basil, and Mr. Steger, for helping guide this class to the point of their success on this graduation evening. In closing, I once again remind you to help us maintain the dignity of the program and give every youngster an opportunity to hear his name. So it is with great pleasure, Mr. Harvey, that I present to you and to the Board of Education 4 diplomas, the class of 1988, having fulfilled all requirements for graduation from a fully accredited high school in the state of Ohio. Best wishes to all of you, and thank you very much.
On behalf of the Kettering Board of Education, I would like to congratulate the Kettering Fairmont High School class of 1988. There's 2 other groups I'd also like to congratulate. As Mr. Boyce did, the teachers, the administrators, and the counselors that these students have had for the last 13 years surely deserve a lot of recognition to get these students where they are. Another group that deserves to be congratulated are the parents. I'm sure that you're proud to see your students, your children, sons and daughters, reach a first plateau of life, that of graduation. I'm sure there's also a feeling of nostalgia to notice the change that's going to take place during the next month, the next year, when they're not going to be with you at all times. There aren't many things I think you as graduates can be promised. Life's fun, but it also has its ups and downs. There's one thing I can definitely tell you better count on, and that's change. When you started school when you were born in 1970, Kettering schools had 24 school buildings. We had approximately 16,000 students. Today we have 12 buildings. We have fewer than 7,300 students. Richard Nixon was president. Spiro Agnew was vice president. There were 4 students killed at Kent State University during the Vietnam War and because of the war. The Dow Jones dropped to 631. The price of gold was $35 an ounce. A new car cost less than $4,000. A year of college at a state school in Ohio cost less than $2,000. The Cincinnati Reds lost the World Series to Baltimore 4-1. Pete Maravich, who died this year, was the leading scorer in college basketball, and Oscar Robertson was still playing for the Cincinnati Royals. As you can see, there's change. When adapting this change, I think one of the most important things you can remember is, who do I go to advice? Who am I going to see? You've all got friends, and your friends care about you. They're going to say what they think is best for you. But when you're making decisions, especially during the next 2 or 3 years, remember those people who care for you the most. Remember those people who cry when you cry, who laugh when you laugh, who smile when you smile, who hurt when you hurt. Your parents, they're always there. Any decision they make, you know is best for you. And your God, your Creator, will always be there. Mr. Spoich, on behalf of the Kettering Board of Education, I will proudly accept the Kettering Fairmont High School class of 1988 and sincerely wish them the best of luck in their futures. Good luck.
Maybe. Kelly Francis Capehart.
Kelly Joelle Brown.
Clark Kendall Davidson.
Scott Thomas Caldwell.
Jill Marie Conley.
Sherry Kathleen Cole.
Brian Douglas Highland.
Jason Robert Eggleston.
Kimberly Renee Edwards.
Kristen Lee Dunkel.
Christopher Lawrence McManus.
Thomas Charles Kine, Jr.
Jennifer Lynn Helmig.
Catherine Ruth Erickson.
Gregory Thomas Knuckles.
Michael Shane Merrick.
Jill Elizabeth Jackson.
Amy Renee Hodson.
Christopher John Rao.
Sean Ryan Owens.
Melinda Joan Lunicky.
Tina Rebecca Lindquist.
Edward Ackerman William Jr.
Christopher Scott Abbott.
Holly Laurie Martin.
Carolyn Jean Macchia.
Lance Robert Amon.
Bill Jean Albert.
Wendy Michelle Schubert.
Michelle Ann Sabadash.
Timothy John Arway.
Jeffrey Lee Amon.
Deborah Lynn Wagner.
Deborah Beth Slachter.
Craig Allen Banner.
John Russell Ballard.
Samantha Jane Adams.
Anne Marie Ackerman.
Matthew Eugene Barkus.
David Brian Barber.
Angela Jean Anderson.
Susan Lynn Albert.
Jonathan Turner Barlow.
Matthew John Barhorst.
Susan Michelle Anderson.
Michelle Marie Anderson.
Timothy David Bates.
Brian Patrick Bartley.
Kristen Ann Armstrong.
Annette Jean Anthony.
Anthony Lee Benson.
Christopher Allen Benedetti.
Catherine Medina Bader.
Crystal Lynn Arp.
Robert Michelle Beaulieu.
Robert L. Berardi.
Jeffrey John Bieber.
John Patrick Berger.
Christine Lynn Bell.
Tammy Ann Betties.
Joel Anthony Blandford.
Ted Douglas Bishop.
Jennifer Lynn Berg.
Victoria Delana Benj.
Thomas Edward Borneman.
Molly Marie Bertrand.
Jennifer Lynn Bishop.
Jonathan King Bretz.
Thomas Richard Brewster.
Kelly Renee Blair.
Wendy Sue Blosser.
Brett Thomas Brinsfield.
Daniel Brian Brockman.
Amanda Jean Blue.
Bettina Nicole Bockelman.
David Michael Brown.
Michael Matthew Brown.
Sheila Ann Bodish.
Sherry Lee Bamer.
Timothy A. Brown.
Darren Lee Bushaw.
Tanya Michelle Boer.
Anthony Todd Campbell.
Christopher Martin Cade.
Michelle Renee Brannon.
Laura Lynn Brandenburg.
Anthony Steve Candela.
John Howard Campbell.
Anna Maria Whittingham.
Tracy Lynn Brewster.
William Scott Carr.
John Welter Carlson.
Octavia Linnell Brown.
Kristen Lynn Brooks.
Matthew Charles Chamberlain.
Joseph Gordon Carson.
Angela Lynn Brush.
Denise Sue Brown.
Thomas Shelby Chapman IV.
Matt Gerard Channel.
Lori Lynn Bajewski.
Teresa Alta Buckner.
Christopher M. Clark.
Michael Allen Christian.
Bradley Arthur Cleaver.
Angela Marie Butchko.
Lorianne Jill Case.
Sean S. Clark.
Astor Brian Combs.
Barbara K. Cashdollar.
Kimberly K. Cates.
Brian Ross Coffey.
James Christopher Cotter.
Beth Ann Cashdollar.
Holly Renee Klaus.
Douglas Edward Commons.
William Anthony Dalgard.
Pamela Sue Clary.
Tracy Lynn Cochran.
Brian Keith Cummings.
Richard Hall Dalton Jr.
Melanie Margaret Clutter.
Amy Elizabeth Coleman.
Joseph Allen Daniel.
James Douglas Davis.
Angela Cole.
Catherine Ann Coleman.
Mark Jameson Davenport.
Paul Edward Deaton Jr.
Rhonda Raquel Collins.
Rebecca Lynn Commons.
Elizabeth Marie Columbus.
Alan Patrick Dice.
Don Marie Harry Kahn.
Martina Cortellazza.
Nicholas David Dellis.
Jean-Paul Christian DeRocher.
Stacy Marie Cost.
Tanya Renee Cotter.
Michael Thomas Diaz.
Michael Charles Dolly.
Robin Cox.
Kelly Jane Crank.
Timothy Martin Doyle.
Kong Tri Du.
Tracy Lynn Craigall.
Tara Elizabeth Kripe.
Craig Martin Dudley.
Jason Ernest Drake.
Julie Michelle Cummins.
Christine Linda Curran.
Gerald Francis Duggan.
Kenneth Lee Eber.
Michelle Lee Daly.
Anne Michelle DePore.
Sean Edward Ellis.
David Lee Elston Jr.
Rhonda Gale Doherty.
Sherry Lynn Depew.
Carrie Nelson Estes.
John David Everson.
Angela Renee Deshawn.
April Michelle Donahue.
Ryan Patrick Fair.
Rick Brady Feltner.
Karen Sue Doolin.
Ha Wei Du.
Stephen Paul Fordelman.
Jason Channing Farrar.
T. Leah Ellerbrock.
Angela Sue Elliott.
Kimberly Lynn Eiler.
Robert Anthony Florio.
Jennifer Lynn Forsha.
Melissa Marie Fletcher.
Rodney Lowell Foote.
Michael John Folan.
Tanya Michelle Gambrell.
Shelley Lee Frowine.
Daniel Joseph Foreman.
Brian Hugh Foreman.
Angela Mary G. Lombardo.
Rosemarie Catherine Jelm.
John David Frick.
Cindy Jean Gibbs.
Wendy Ann Gillen.
Gregory Earl Garberson.
Daniel Joseph George.
Karen Sue Glasgow.
Pamela Sue Goebel.
Timothy David Gooden.
Matthew Daniel Gorman.
Carolyn Yvonne Graham.
Mickey Shannon Green.
Christopher Hadley Griffin.
Joseph Danny Grimes.
Iqbal Julie Gregg.
Cynthia Lynn Gressner.
Robert Walter Grove.
Robert Alex Grubb.
Lee Ann Grobleski.
Tammy Lynn Grubb.
Timothy Lewis Hack.
Kelly Lynn Hamby.
Lori Lynn Haley.
John William Harm.
Mark Jeffrey Hammer.
Tracy Kathleen Hamby.
Julie Ann Hapner.
Eric John Haroldson.
Michael Eric Harmer.
Melissa Michelle Herod.
Kimberly Marie Harry.
Kenneth Brian Hardings.
Robert Andrew Harris.
Ellen Lynn Havner.
Marcia Ann Hatton.
Richard Thomas Hecker.
Sean Lynn Hauser.
Stacy Michelle Hayes.
Holly Melissa Hayden.
Randall Dale Hendricks.
Charles Edward Heater.
Jerry Angelina Hessler.
Debbie Ann Hellard.
John David Hill.
Paul William Hickey.
Belinda Sue Hildebrand.
Holly Kathleen Higgins.
Scott Allen Hobbs.
Aaron Matthew Hillen.
Shannon Michelle Hill.
Elisa Louise Hill.
Dennis Russell Halderman II.
Robert Andrew Hursting.
Tanya Lynn Heights.
Kimberly Ann Heinley.
Robert James Homewood.
Randolph Creed Holland.
Melissa May Howard.
Holly Renee Hopkins.
John Robert Householder.
Larry Astor Hopkins.
Nancy Elaine Huber.
Michelle Lynn Howe.
Robert Eric Hutzel.
Carl Christopher Hunter.
Kathleen Marie Hulsman.
Kimberly Sue Hudson.
Frederick Ralph Insco.
Ty Van Wyn.
And Jeanette Marie Jarvis.
Teresa Lynn Jackson.
Dennis Eugene Israel.
Jason Richard Eisenbarger.
Tanya Sue Johns.
Ivy C. Jeng.
Mark Ira James.
Michael Allen Jackson.
Kimberly Ann Johnson.
Deborah A. Johnson.
William Douglas Jenkins.
Keith Edward Jameson.
Karen Marie Cobflesh.
Joe Ann Junker.
Larry Edward Johnson.
David Michael Jewell.
Andrea Christine Kemmer.
Jana Lynn Katsuyama.
Robert Stephen Kalaman.
Mark Lewis Joyner.
Kathleen Marie Keogh.
Lori Elizabeth Kennedy.
Robert Michael Kastler.
Robert Joseph Canyu.
Stacy Renee Kinney.
Alicia Ann Kingray.
Chad H. Kemper.
Michael Hugh Kelly.
Lori Lee Knoop.
Kelly Michelle Kling.
Charles Allen Kessler.
J. Kelly Kennard.
Stephanie Sue Krasnerich.
Jamie Constantino.
John Ashley Kleinfeld.
Mark Allen Claren.
Jennifer Christine Lakatos.
Jill Ann Kunka.
David Vernon Klosterman.
Matthew Thomas Klein.
Giovanna Lamana.
Lisa Marie Lamb.
Michael Scott Crasher.
Brett William Creamer. Is that right?
Tiffany Lynn Latsko.
Krista Eileen Laprice.
Douglas Scott Lamb.
James William Kramer.
David Martin Lamberger.
Tina Lynn Lawson.
Renee Joanne Lee.
Kevin Russell Lamar.
Lon Lee.
Catherine Michelle Lepford.
Lisa Marie Leiter.
Gregory Charles Lantis.
Denny Allen Lewis.
Christine Gertrude Lerner.
Tracy Ann Lengthy.
Brian Keith Lencool.
William Troy Lowe.
Jane Ann Lemmings.
Lori Christine Lyles.
Anthony Lee Lombardo.
Robert Michael Macchia.
Shelley Marianne Leo.
Melissa Ann Lincoln.
David Lee Lloyd.
George Andrew Martin.
Tamitha Lynn Lindbergh.
Melissa Jean Little.
Aragorn J. Mallory.
Ray Sablin Mazga.
Michelle Marie Lindemann.
Monica Angela Benegro.
Scott Patrick Martin.
Daniel Brannon McCarthy.
Holly Renee Livengood.
Kristen Abdallah Limburner.
Kevin Patrick McAvoy.
Matthew Henry McCleary.
Angela Michelle Likens.
Jill Marie Mocheski.
Keith R. McCarthy.
Sean Patrick McDougall.
Lisa Marie McPherson.
Maria Victoria Martin.
Craig Allen McDaniel.
Brian Lee McKinney.
Anne Brantley Marshall.
Deborah Lynn Morrow.
Jack B. McKibben.
Rodney Brian McLaughlin.
Amy Lynn Martz.
Leslie Lee McCoy.
Mark Paul McKinney.
Dina Michelle McMillan.
Sherry Renee McCoy.
Fritz Menke IV.
Daniel Patrick McManus.
Michelle Lynn Medlin.
Tracy Lynn McDowell.
David Brian Milby.
Jeffrey Scott McManus.
Kelly Adele Menke.
Jessica Emily McNamara.
Chad Byron Middlestad.
David Scott Michelle.
Clarissa Lynn Michael.
Jennifer Lynn Mendenhall.
Anthony Francis Monturo.
Mark David Miller.
Deborah K. Miller.
Tina Marie Mercury.
Stephanie Ann Mitchell.
Darren Lee Moeller.
Scott Andrew Mullins.
Julia Hardy Miles.
Amy Christine Moore.
Douglas Franklin Moore.
Sean O. Murray.
Martha Evelyn Miller.
Kathleen Marie Morgan.
Gregory John Mott.
Stephen Kenneth Niergarder.
Maria Ortiz Monasterio.
Tracy J. Morgan.
J. Wilbur Murdoch.
Sean William Nix.
Kathleen Bridget Moran.
Anne Marie Murphy.
Philip Ferdinand Nassmacher.
Timothy John O'Neill.
Kristen Marie Morgan.
Kathleen Lorette Napier.
Christopher Todd Neary.
David Lyle Owens.
Jill Marie Morrow.
Heather Renee Newman.
Carl Okeson.
Teresa Jean Niehaus.
Angela K. Nago.
Philip Scott Kaiser Parlett.
Earl E. Orion.
Brian James Pavey.
Kathleen Denise Naylor.
Pamela Sue Osborne.
Roger Brandon Owsley.
Charles Paul Petzold.
Laura Ann Newman.
Nice pants, Charlie. Jennifer Ann Pulcher.
Jeffrey Craig Parkhurst.
Stephen Anthony Pietrantonio.
Victoria Marie O'Brien.
Julie Rose Patterson.
Aaron Ray Pavey.
James Meade Prizer.
Tina Marie O'Neill.
Tiffany Yvette Paxton.
Michael Christopher Pites.
James Timothy Ransdell.
April Lynn Ostendorf.
Fong Pham.
Tony Jean Panstengel.
Brian William Rauscher.
Robert Jason Palvino.
Deanna Joy Phillips.
Nicole Lynn Paxton.
Chandra Canthan Ravindran.
Michael Leon Quinn.
Christina Lynn Plack.
Tricia Elaine Pinnock.
Scott B. Redding.
Donald Edward Rapp.
Jocelyn Averill Pronko.
Melissa Carol Ferris.
Thomas Earl Reed.
Patrick Thomas Rao.
Lori Ann Raby.
Angela Marie Pitzer.
Craig Lynn Ritchie.
William Douglas Rowe.
Carmen Janine Reese.
Michelle Lee Pokorski.
Craig Allen Robinson.
John Francis Riemann.
Kelly Lynn Riley.
Jennifer Mary Quarren.
Donald James Repkin.
Stephen Joseph Riegelsberger.
Melanie K. Richards.
Karen Lynn Rector.
Robert Thomas Rookstool.
Jonathan Paul Roberts.
Claudia Elizabeth Francina Robertson III.
Sharon L. Rector.
Stephen Lowell Richley.
Gregory Joseph Robke.
Laura A. Russell.
Joan Marie Roosh.
Paul Derek Rutherford.
Brian Joseph Westlow.
April Lynn Scanahorn.
Philip Clinton Rose.
Andrew L. Sawyer.
Joan Lucille Rosenkrantz.
Cindy Lynn Schelling.
Philip Michael Russell.
Michael Lawrence Sarmier.
Paulette Saunders.
Melissa Ann Shear.
Patrick E. Sage.
Stephen Lee Shepoister.
Lisa Lee Scheidt.
Stephanie Page Schwem.
Robert William Sanders III.
Gregory James Seacrest.
Lisa Ann Shepard.
Lauren Barker Schuster.
Holly Victoria Snyder.
Stephen Thomas Shannon.
Stephen Michael Schwartzhoff.
Heather Lynn Seifert.
Pamela Jo Schreiber.
William A. Shaw.
Eric Joseph Sizer.
Jennifer Ann Schutz.
Denise Michelle Sears.
Richard Anthony Sherrick.
James A. Shaw.
Nicole Josephine Saunier.
Nancy Lynn Shoemaker.
Alan Edward Smith.
David Matthew Shear.
Melissa Ann Sparks.
James Warren Scaries.
James Richard Smith.
Kelly Marie Spang.
Veronica Lynn Spradlin.
James Neal Smith.
James William Snow.
Teresa Lynn Spiller.
Tammy Lynn Staub.
Russell Lee Smith.
Ty Bradley Stafford.
Dion Marie Stankina.
Leslie Ellen Steiner.
Brian Kevin Stacy.
Todd A. Standard.
Danette Lynn Steinberger.
Angelisa Marie Stevens.
John Christopher Lawrence Starr.
Randall Allen Stansel.
Laura Renee Steinlage.
Bridget Lee Stonerock.
James Christopher Stanley.
Joseph Michael Stein.
Melanie K. Stewart.
Michelle Lynn Stringer.
Kevin Robert Steele.
Daniel Philip Struble Jr.
Susan Marie Stoppelman.
Nozomi Takamoto.
Brian David Stevens.
J. Robert Sturos.
Carla Jean Schwartz.
Tina D. Thomas.
Tim Gregory Stump.
Morgan Andrew Taylor.
Barbara Jo Talby.
Diane Marie Tilton.
Jeffrey Michael Tatum.
Michael Stephen Thuma.
Jenny Lynn Tietmeyer.
Elise Suzanne Tony.
Michael Randall Thompson.
Benjamin Allen Toby.
Dorothy Marie Todd.
Joanne Paula Vallisades.
Douglas Neil Tibbs.
Tom Trang.
Fang Ying Chung.
Michelle Ann Vivio.
Scott Allen Todd.
Larry Anthony Van Shagen.
Kristen Prudence Van Sickle.
Jill Renee Wonke.
Todd Anthony Van Martyr.
Todd Eugene Waker.
Shannon Ann Walker.
Lisa Sharon Wiseman.
Giles Paul Van Sickle.
Robert Brett Ward.
Deborah Lynn Weisbrot.
Polly Jean Wirtz.
Edward Joseph Walters.
Sandra Lana Wetz.
Amy Elizabeth Wendell.
Jeffrey Paul Weiser.
Paul Victor Rita.
Candace Renee Widener.
Shelley Marie Werner.
David Robert White.
Joseph Raymond Wynell.
Candace Lynn Williams.
Diane Elizabeth White.
Walter Alexander Winslow.
David Allen White.
Margaret K. Williams.
Tracy Lynn Willett.
Dennis Lee Witten.
Robert Joseph Wilkins.
Cindy Ann Witt.
Cheryl Elizabeth Williams.
Brian Edward Worley.
Charles John Whistle III.
Molly Chandra Yonkin.
Laura Lynn Wilson.
Gerald Brian Wright.
Christopher Allen Loans.
Yerrick Lewis Yerrington.
Angela Lynn Woods.
Todd Irvin York.
Eric Carl Wright.
James Scott Young.
John Douglas Wurzbacher. Randy Allen Yoder. And Douglas Marshall Young.
Please stand for the alma mater.
Tonight, we mark the ending of a very important part of our lives. We have our diplomas in our hands now, and we've achieved what we come through all these years and have worked towards. Behind us have been both good times and bad, times that we will always remember, and sometimes that perhaps we'd rather forget. But regardless of who we spent our time with or what we chose to do these past 3 years, we all share the unity of being the class of 1988. Life will take us in many different directions after we leave this place tonight. But we'll always have this experience to share and a memory of our experience. As you go from this place, may the Lord go with you, behind you to uphold you, beside you to befriend you, before you to show you the way, and within you to give you God's peace. Fellow graduates, it's my honor and pleasure to lead you in the turning of the tassels.